Hello and Yali with it, everyone. We're just about to start the session. I hope everyone is having a great day and I hope you're staying safe. Thank you all so much for joining us for our third Show Me How session. We've got something very, very exciting prepared for you. The wonderful Zahra Jivraj will be showing you how to draw a portrait. So without further ado, Zahra, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Hey everyone. Like Nabila just said, I'm Zahra and we're going to go through some drawing stuff today. So first of all, I'm just going to go through what we're going to do for the session. So we're going to try and draw a face basically. So the first thing we're going to do is learn how to draw the shape of a face, kind of like that, until we end up with more of a face. Like that, and then we'll go through how to draw the eyes and nose and mouth and do some shading around the edges to make it look really cool. So not a lot of you have your camera on, which is fine, but if you want to show me your drawing at some point so I can see what it looks like, then just turn on your camera and then just hold up your piece of paper to the front. Okay? Okay. And like they said, if you had any questions, just type it in the chat box or let us know, we'll unmute you so you can ask. All right, so if everyone's ready, do you guys want to start? Okay, cool. So the first thing we're going to start doing is take your blank piece of paper and your pencil and draw a large circle. It doesn't have to be the perfect circle, guys, so don't worry. Okay, and then a little bit further down from the circle, draw just a straight line at the bottom, kind of like that, if everyone can see that. Okay, so once you've done that, the next part is to draw two lines on either side of that circle to go all the way down and then inwards to meet the chin. I think we've got some of the adults trying it out. Can't wait to see your attempt. So that can get a little bit tricky sometimes to make it look right. So I'll just go through it on here. So if you have your circle and your little line like that, you want to take a line down on either side, around halfway down, and then start scooping it inwards to get to the bottom. And then you can just sort of fix it to make it look a little bit more symmetrical. Cool. Okay, so now you guys can rub out this bit of inside the face where the rest of the circle is. This part here, you can take away that because you don't need it anymore. Also, if you guys want me to slow down, just message me and I'll go back to the part that I've done before. Okay, so next thing is to draw a line down the center of the face. So you might want to use a ruler for that part. Ignore the rest of the lines on here, guys. Just look at the one down the middle and the one halfway across. Okay, so you should have one line going down the middle and one line going across the middle like that, just above where you finished your circle before. Okay, so if you want to keep it simple, you can leave it at that. And anyone that wants to try anything a little bit more advanced, if you mark a line next to your face, down the whole way of the face, and then mark a line where it starts and where it ends and where your middle line is. So you should have 3 marks on there. And then if you split that line and put 3 mini lines in each box like that. Okay. Everyone all good? If you want me to stop, just message me and I'll go back. All right, so this is where we get to start putting on the features. So we're going to draw them really, really simply first, and then we're going to come back to learn how to draw each one and how to shade it in and stuff as well, okay? Okay, so if you guys can see that there, where your lines are, you don't have to draw lines all the way across the face. I've just done that to help you guys look. But you want to start with just drawing a small outline of circles for the eyes along where the center line is. So the line right in the middle, just above there, that's where I want you to put the eyes. And then one line above there, that's where I want you to put the eyebrow. So just above that line is where the eyebrow should go. Okay, and then along the center line, so in the middle, and that's where the nose is going to be, and that should start where the second line on that box is. So the middle line of the bottom section, that's where the nose should end. So for now, because we'll go through how to draw a nose after, all you got to do for the nose part is just put a small circle just above that line. So it's the middle line of the bottom section, and you just want to put a small circle there. Cool. And then just below that line is where you want to start drawing the lip. So right now, just do a really basic outline of whatever you think the lip should look like, and we'll come back on how to draw them properly after. Awesome. Okay, so now that's your basic outline of the face. Does anyone have any questions so far? Or does anyone want to show me what they've done so I can have a look? Do you want me to go over anything? Oh, Alicia, that looks really nice. Well done. I'm loving it, Noreen. It looks great. You're a pro already. Okay. So now we're going to start with the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So we'll start with the nose and the mouth because they're easier than the eyes. Eyes can get really tricky, so we'll leave that till last. Right. So to draw a nose, so do you remember I told you guys to put a circle in the middle? So above the circle, you should still have your center line. Everyone still has their center line? Okay, so right now, I want you guys to rub out the rest of the lines on the face. The line going down the middle and the line going across, you can rub that out, but leave a little line just above the nose circle to help you guide you when you draw the nose. But the rest of the lines you can rub out now because we're going to start making it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, So now you guys should have that left for your nose. Okay, so now that you've got that circle, I want you to sort of draw a little bit kind of like a scoop underneath that circle like that. And you can press down quite hard on that with your pencil. So if anyone wants to see that again, it's like a little scoop just underneath. Okay, and then on either side of the nose, I want you to draw a little flick like that, and on the other side as well. So like a C, but a bit flatter. Okay, so now I want you to rub out the very top part of the circle. Like that. How's it looking? Is it looking a little bit like a nose? I can see nodding from Alicia. Okay, and now I want you to put a little line on either side of the nose like that.
Hey, Zahra, I have a request. Could we go over the lips one more time?
We're going to go to the lips right after we do the nose, and we're going to do them properly, just like we're doing the nose now. So okay. Don't worry.
Thanks.
So it should look a little bit like that, and you should have rubbed out the top part of your circle. You can also rub out that middle part of the line now. So it should just look like that. How's it looking, guys? Everyone's looking okay?
Wait, Zahra, do you mind saying that last bit again?
Sorry. If you rub out the top part of the circle and the line in the middle, you should be left with that.
Oh, bro, thank you.
That's all right. I'll hold that up on the screen if anyone needs it. Cool. Okay, so now we can start the shading of the nose. So before we do any actual shading, a couple of techniques that I learned ages ago when you're trying to colour in a face is something called cross-hatching. I'm going to find my piece of paper, I've lost it. So it's when people usually try and colour things in like this, and it doesn't look great. So from the other side, it takes a lot longer, but if you do it in little mini strokes like that, diagonally, and then go up the other way, diagonally, and then run over it with your finger, it looks a lot better. So when we go through the shading of the rest of the stuff, try doing that a little bit. If it's not going very well, then you don't have to, but sometimes it really helps to make things look a little bit nicer. Okay, so now we can move on to the lips. So whoever requested that, it's that time. So first we're just going to colour in the nose quickly. So to do that, the bottom part of the nose, I want you to shade it in from the bottom going up, and then press a little bit hard at the bottom of the nose and let your pencil go a little bit gentler as you move upwards. And if it's looking a little bit messy, you can just gently run your finger over it and it'll look a little bit neater. And then I want you to do the same on each of the little parts there. Oh, and optional, if you want to give your person nostrils, you just have to colour in this part here, but sometimes they look kind of weird, so I don't do that often. Okay, is everyone's looking all right? Yeah? Does it look kind of like a nose? Okay, and if you've done that part, then you can shade inwards from the 2 lines on either side here. If you want, you can colour in the whole thing and just put your rubber down the middle to make it look like that. Okay, all right, I think we can move on now. How's everyone's looking so far? Does anyone want to show me? Can you move it up a little bit? That is a great nose right there, well done. Oh, Shalina, that looks really nice. Can I see that again? Perfect, that's a really good nose. Okay, cool. So if you feel like the nose is looking too dark around the edges, then you can just colour in more and just do that thing with your finger that I showed you. When you shade stuff, try and do it really gently so it doesn't look too harsh. And if you feel like it's all smudging together, you can go over the outline again with your pencil to make it darker. Cool. Okay, so lips. So I'll go over how to draw the basic shape of the lips. So sometimes it changes depending on whether you're drawing a man or a woman. If you're drawing a man, try not to shade it as harshly as if you're drawing a woman. If you're drawing a girl, you can make it a little bit darker so it looks like your lips are a bit pinker in real life. Or kind of like you're wearing lipstick. So to draw the outline of the lips, so if you can see where the center line that you rubbed out was, if you can see like the slightly kind of where it was, then use that to go off. If not, then just draw a little small line underneath the nose here to guide you when you do the lips. Okay, so to do the lips, you're going to start by just doing one little slope like that. Okay, then you're going to try and match that on the other side. Okay, and then underneath that, you're going to draw a straight line with a little dip in the middle. Yeah, sure. Okay, and then underneath that, you're going to draw a little scoop like that. Okay, so now you can rub out that line that you've just drawn down the middle. So if you're ever drawing another face and you want to make them look like they're smiling or frowning, all you have to do is just, because the ends haven't met yet when you've drawn your lips, you can make the ends go upwards like that. And if they are smiling, then sometimes you can put a little line on either side like that to make it look like they have the little creases in their face that happen when they smile. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just leave it just like this and it'll still look good. Okay, so next for the lips, once you've got your outline, from that middle line, do a few strokes of your pencil going outwards, so from the top and the bottom. You can also add in some from the top, like that. Okay, so once you've done that, all you then have to do is just colour over it really gently. And then just run your finger over it like I showed you before. Try not to press too hard, otherwise you'll smush the whole thing. Okay, great. And then if you want to, you can take your rubber and just rub out a tiny little section of the bottom lip like that, so it looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, so someone's just requested to repeat the last instruction. So after you've coloured in the lips, just take your rubber and just rub a small section of the lower lip out, only very tiny, just to look like there's light reflecting off of it. Cool. Does anyone want to show me so far? Anyone have any questions? Okay, right, let's move on. Okay, so the next part is the eyes. This always used to really confuse me when I was younger, because I could never get them to look real. So hopefully it'll look a little bit like that once you're done. So to start your eye, start by drawing a kind of almond shape. But if you can, try and slant it upwards a little bit. Not very much, but just a tiny bit. So that's what it should kind of look like. Okay, so once you've done the outline, inside the eye, you're going to put a big circle like that. Okay, then above the eye, you're going to put a line like that, just following the shape of the eye, but just a little bit further up from it.
We've just had a question from somebody come in asking if we erase the circle we made for the eye before.
Yeah, you can do if you don't want to use that as the middle circle. You can rub it out and then start again.
Thank you.
Okay, so if everyone's got there, then underneath, again, the same thing, a little line following the shape of the eye, just like that. Okay, So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So inside that circle, I want you to draw another circle like this. So inside this circle, one more circle. And then on top of that circle, I want you to draw a square like that. Okay, cool. So now you guys can color in that middle circle quite harshly. So push your pencil down quite a lot to make it look as black as you can. Okay, and then very gently color in the rest of the circle, but leave that box that you've drawn white. So gently color in the rest of the circle. So it should look like that. Okay, so this is when you can kind of decide if you're doing your drawing in black and white, but you want the person to have light colored eyes, then don't press down very hard when you do the next bit with your pencil. If you want them to have brown eyes, then you can make it darker. That's how you try and show what kind of color they have without using any color. So the next part, you're going to draw little lines coming out of the middle of the eye onto the outer part, like a little fan or like a little sun. And just keep going over those lines loads until you can't really see that they're very obvious anymore. Can everyone see what I'm doing? So do it outwards from the middle of the circle. And then from the outside of the circle, do the same thing. So from the outside bit, lines going in. Okay, and then color over the whole thing again. And if you want, you can use your finger and just run it over the top really, really gently to blend it all in. Alicia, I can see you holding it up. Can you put it a little bit closer to the camera? That looks lovely. That looks so nice. Well done. Okay, so once you've done that, just go over the outline of the eye, so the outline of that outer circle, and make that a little bit darker. Okay, so now we can start the rest of the eye. So if you're drawing a girl and you want them to have bigger, longer eyelashes, then you can add that on after. If you're drawing a boy and you don't want them to look too girly, then try not to put too many eyelashes on, okay? So I've not put any on here yet, but we'll add that on as we go along. Okay, so when you go back to what your eye looks like, it should look a bit like that. The line above the circle, I want you to make that a little bit darker. And then I want you to go over the line above that and make that a little bit darker too. Cool. Okay, so now do you remember that thing I taught you earlier about the shading? So how you do little strokes like that and then diagonally again, and then run your finger over it. We're going to do that now. So starting from this part of the eye, I want you to do a little bit of shading all the way across. And then right till the end. And then once you've done that, so once you've done one stroke diagonally, go over the other side as well. When you go back over it, only do that for the edge of the eye. Don't go all the way inwards. So go over it twice at the edge and only once at the beginning. I know that bit's a little bit confusing, so if you want me to go over it again, just message us. And then just run your finger over it so the whole thing becomes quite dark. Okay, so we're going to go over that part again. So you've got the outline of your eye. Let me just a little bit closer. And then you've got the line on top. So for the shading, start with diagonal strokes of your pencil all the way across. Then starting from this edge, the outer edge, go the other way in reverse, but only up to halfway of the eye, so that it looks darker on that side, and you can keep going over that. And then take your finger and blend it all together. Try not to press, when you're shading, try not to press your pencil down too hard, otherwise you'll be able to see the lines that you're drawing, and you want it all to blend together. Okay, so now that you've done that, it should look a little bit like this. So then the next part is underneath to do a similar thing, but a lot lighter. So don't press your pencil down very hard for this one. And this one, the line underneath, just gently color the whole thing in. Very gently. And then again, just run your finger over it very gently. Try not to use your finger too much because it can make it look quite messy. So if you feel like it's doing that, just stop. Okay, and then the underneath part of the eye, you can go over it a little bit with your pencil, and just above, in between that bottom line and the pupil of the eye, just shade in another little line across the top like that. Okay, now if you want to make it look a little bit more realistic, you can add a couple of lines in between the top line and the line just on top of the eye, just going across like that to make it look like creases in the eyelid. Okay, everyone doing okay so far? Good. Right, so now we can try eyelashes. So if you're drawing a guy, they still have eyelashes, so you still need to put them on, but you can draw it really, really lightly. So you can just draw a couple of lines going up, but it will be hidden by all the colouring in that you've done, so it won't look too much. I'm going to show you a darker version, but just don't press too hard on a pencil. So any eyelashes that you draw, try not to draw them in straight lines, because that's what people tend to do, and then they kind of look a little bit odd. So if that's your eye here, everyone see that? Your eyelashes should start from just underneath the eye and scoop upwards like that. And if you start drawing eyelashes at the front of the eye, make them quite short and then make them longer as you get further out. So first just put 4 or 5 across the whole eye like that. Can I see that, Zia? Can you show me? Oh, that looks lovely. You've done so well. Can you put it a little bit closer? Those eyes are really good. Wow, well done. That's so nice. Okay. Right, so once you've done your 4 or 5 eyelashes, you can add a couple shorter ones in between. So that it looks a little bit like that. In the pencil, it should look kind of like that. So you can keep going over it again and again and giving more eyelashes if you want to. And if you want, you can put a few on the bottom too, but make those a lot shorter, like that. Okay, so I'll give you guys a few minutes to do the eye on the other side, and then we'll do the eyebrows. Okay, do you want to show me your eye and I'll see what we can do?
Shalina's iPad, that was for you. I think Zahra's that question was from.
Right, okay. You hold it up close for me. That looks really good. What is it that you don't like about it? Do you want to unmute yourself and then tell me?
They just look totally dissimilar.
I mean, they don't have to look like mine because not all eyes look the same, but you've done a really good job of the inside of the eye especially. Okay. The shape's probably a little bit bigger, so next time maybe make the eyes a little bit smaller, but the shading's really, really good. So don't worry.
Okay.
It'll still, once the rest of the face is done, it'll still look good.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay. Okay, so I'll give like a couple of minutes to do the other eye, and then we'll go on to the next part. Can we show the bottom lashes again? Yeah, of course. So I'll draw them on here for you. So very small little flicks like that. Both Alicia's, that's looking really good, the one that's showing me at the moment. And Iman, that also looks really good. Well done. Those eyes are amazing. Okay, anyone have any questions so far? Do you guys want me to go over anything again? Okay, right, so let's move on to the eyebrows. So have you guys drawn the eyebrows on your face? Have you got them? Cool, okay. So you should have right now just a faint line like that. You're gonna make that line into a little block. So you're gonna draw a line going up from the beginning part, And then you're going to follow that all the way to the end and try and make it thinner at the end, like that. Okay, and do that on both sides. Okay, so to color in an eyebrow to make it look more realistic, do it in little strokes, just like I showed you that other thing before, but all in one direction. It'll take a little while, but just keep doing it until you fill up the whole eyebrow. And then you can color over those strokes like that. And then go over with your finger just like you did before. And then if you guys want to do the same thing on the other side. Cool. Okay, so next, yeah. So we've not got that much time left now. We've only got around 5 minutes. So I'll go through where to start the hair so that when you do that, so you can do that after the session. And then if you take a picture of it and send it to me so I can see.
Zahra, you got 10 minutes. You're good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if we then I guess we can probably put the ears in. So ears always start from where the eyes finish. So that line that you drew your eyes next to, your ear should start there and it should end just above the nose, like that. That's the section, that's the way that your ear should be. So make that into a small ear. If you're gonna make the end drawing into a girl with long hair and you don't want the ears to show, then you don't have to draw them on, that's just optional. Cool. And then do that on the other side as well. Okay, so wherever you marked that top line next to it, if you still have that, that's where the hairline should start. So you can then rub out that top part of your circle so that your person isn't, unless you're making your person bold, then you can leave it there. But if you're giving them hair, then you shouldn't be able to see that part. You can get rid of that. And where that next line starts, that's where you're going to start the hair. So you can give them whatever kind of hairstyle you want. If you want it to look like straight hair or long hair, then start from the middle or the side and just go above and around the face to give yourself an outline. And then draw another line just below there, and that's when you're going to start colouring in the hair from. If you're drawing a guy, ignore this. If you have any questions about how to draw the hair, we can come back to that after, but that's just a guide. And then if we have time, we'll come back to drawing the hair properly after. But that's just where it's going to start from. So before we move on to that, sometimes you can put some shading on the rest of the face to make it look like you have your forehead and your cheekbones and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to leave your face how it looks now, you can. But if you want to add some extra shading into it, then the best thing to do is start from the outside of the face, so like the top forehead, and gently, gently colour in a little bit, and then let your pencil get lighter and lighter and lighter as you get to the middle, and then run your finger over it like that. So try not to press very harshly with the pencil. And then the next part you're going to do is the cheekbone. So underneath the eye to where the nose is, so where you've drawn your ear, again, start shading from the outside really gently, and then let your pencil get lighter and lighter and lighter as you get inwards, like that. And then again, just shade it in. And then again, you can do the same for the rest of the face. Okay, so before we move on to anything else, does anyone want to show me what they've got or ask me any questions or go back on something that we've done already if they're not happy? Is everyone all right with it so far?
Zahra, we've just had a question saying, can you show us how to do the boy's hair, please?
Of course, yeah. So it depends what kind of hairstyle you want to give the guy. I'll draw a quick outline of a face here. Okay, so say that that's your face there. If you want the guy to have short hair, you can do little flicks like that, and then just make them get shorter at the side. Once you colour it all in and leave those large parts there, it should look a little bit better. And then if you keep doing that a little bit further up, you can give them hair like that. Or if you want them to have sort of like spiky hair, you just have to do loads of long little strokes like that, but just keep going over it and over it and over it, and make it as long as you want the boy's hair to be. Any hair that you draw, you should be drawing in really, really thin lines. So if it's a girl's, really thin lines like that until you want the hairline to stop. For a girl or a boy, once you've started the line of the hair at the bottom, go a little bit further up and just mark a line there, and that's where you're going to stop your hair, and then you can just do that shading until you've reached that line. Try not to do those spikes on the side, because boys don't tend to have hair sticking out of the side there. It just sort of goes straight down the side, like that. Okay, so I'll give you guys some time to just shade the whole face in, because it can take a little while.
Zahra, we've just had another question saying, could you please go over the eyebrows once again? But
cool.
Yes. And Zahra, while I'm there, one more other question has come through saying, how do you do the chin? So there are two questions.
How do you do the chin? Okay, so we'll go through the eyebrow first and then we'll come to the chin, okay? So the eyebrow, who was it that asked the eyebrow question?
Alicia Burdai.
Did you just put your hand? Okay, cool. So for the eyebrow, have you drawn your outline already? Okay, so for your eyebrows, if you're struggling with the way they look, If you make it a little bit less pointed at the top, so move the point a little bit outwards so it's closer to the edge of the face, it might change how it looks a little bit.
Zahra, just to let you know that we are it's 8:54 at the moment, so we'll probably wrap up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, cool. So I'll just go through the eyebrow and the chin and then we'll stop.
Sounds good.
Right. So now that you've changed the shape of your eyebrow, the way to shade it in was to do little strokes, just like that, along the whole way. And then, once you've done those strokes, to then gently colour over the whole eyebrow. And then whoever it was that asked about the chin, if you still got your line at the bottom, you can rub out that line now and just make it into a little point. A lot of chins look like they have a little circle coming up. So if you want to make it into a semicircle first, you can do that, and sometimes that looks a little bit more realistic. Once you've done that, like the nose, shade the outside bit of that semicircle and then blend it in. Okay, and then don't forget to add a little neck. So to do that, just start where your face starts sloping downwards, do one line going in like that and another going in like that to make the neck. If you're drawing a boy, try and make the neck a little bit wider, and if you're drawing a girl, you can make it a little bit narrower.
Zahra, we've just had another question come through about, can you show us about the lips, please?
Sorry, say that again?
If we've got time, just to show the lips, please, is the question.
Who asked what part of the lips do they want to see? Everything, or? I think you muted yourself.
Hi, I don't know more about the question. Somebody called Alicia asked the question, but if they want to.
Is it the same Alicia, or is it the other one?
Different Alicia.
Another Alicia. Okay. Alicia, can you unmute yourself? You don't have to put the video on. Unmute yourself.
Zahra. Hi, she's clarified. She says, can you please share the middle part of the lips, please?
The middle part, yeah. The bit where you draw the line. So once you've got your outline of your lip, you want to draw little lines coming outside the middle part, going downwards. And then the same thing going upwards. And then make that inside line a little bit darker. Once you've done all those lines, you can colour in the lips how you usually would. Try not to push your pencil down too hard. And then just smudge it to finish off. Okay? Anything else before we wrap it up? That looks really good. Shalina, that's really, really nice.
Thank you. First time, so thank you very much for your time.
No worries, you did really well. Does anyone else want to show me what they've done so I can see? Iman, that's looking really good too. I love the hair. Okay.
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh wow. What's your, whoever's that is that's just put their picture up, that's a really, really good shading of the face. Well done. Really good. Well done, guys. These are all looking so nice. Ayan and Zia. I don't know which one of you two show me. Is it Zia? That looks really good too. If you guys all want to take pictures of what you've done and send it to me, I would love to see it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zahra. I think
We've got one more question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
From the lip to the chin, how to shade it. You don't need to do too much shading, but from the chin, if you go upwards, from the outside of the face in, and then below the lip, if you want, you can put a little line here and shade a little bit around that, and then just kind of go over it all together. Okay. Perfect. Okay, well done, guys. You all did really well. So the ones that I've seen were so nice. I can't wait to see the rest. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much, Zahra. You've been incredible today. I hope you guys have all really, really enjoyed the session. I saw some of the portraits myself and they were incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest.
Yeah, me too.
Unless anyone has any more questions, I'm going to share my screen with you. So please do feel free to take the time out to fill out the survey and let us know how you found the session. But thank you all so much for joining. I hope you had an amazing time. Zahra, you've been absolutely incredible. So thank you
so much.